Welcome to the Bridging the Generation podcast. I am your host, Malak Arif, and coming to the platform today, we have a very special guest. This brother is a member of one of my favorite production and songwriting teams of the 80s, known for writing the classic hits for Lisa, Lisa, and Cold Jam, UTFO, Cheryl Pepsi Riley, James Brown, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Samantha Fox, Rihanna, Jasmine Guy. The list goes on and on. They've also accumulated numerous awards from BET, Soul Train, Image Awards, NAACP Awards, multiple Grammy nominations, over 60 million records sold with over 10 number one hits and over 20 top 10 hits. They appeared in one of my favorite comedies of all time, House Party and its sequel, House Party 2. And they still are going strong. So with no further ado, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce my next guest to the platform. And I'm talking about the one, the only, Be Fine of Full Force. Let's go. Now watching Bridging the Generation podcast with me, Malak, and today I have a legend, one of my favorite writers, producers in the game, as far as bringing this originality, bringing these new concepts sonically. So again, it is an honor to introduce the one, the only Be Fine of Full Force. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? How's it going?
Man, I can't complain. I can't complain. I'm glad to have you here, man. And again, I want to chop it up with you because I just recently interviewed Lisa. Last week. So to have you on here right after her is just a dream. So again, first of all, I want to ask you, brother, how have you been maintaining with all this pandemic, craziness going on, the whole COVID-19? How you been holding on?
I've been doing all right. Fortunately, man. I've just been staying kind of locked up and away from everything. But yeah, I've been doing good.
Okay. Hey, I gotta ask, man, because we lost a lot of people, and it's again, we're not back to where we were before. So I always gotta ask artists that come on here, just gotta show my concern.
Yeah, well, we all have lost people, in this whole pandemic thing, but it hurts, and you just got to keep rolling.
No doubt. Have you lost anybody like close to you, or you lost people that you just know of?
People less close, and also like friends and people that in the business as well.
Okay.
A lot of times there's like complications that I have a feeling we'll find out later on that it was connected to COVID, things like that.
Okay. Well, look, I want to go ahead and, talk about your story, because I really don't feel, I know you guys just recently had the Unsung, which was dope. That was really cool. But I really want to get to like the nitty gritty of Full Force, because I've been a diehard fan since like All in My Mind. I'm a little late, I was a kid. I vividly remember All in My Mind. When the first album came out, I was too young to remember that, but that All in My Mind, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Wow, that's crazy.
and then when the movie, which we about to talk about later, when House Party, I'm like, oh, those the guys from All in My Mind.
Right.
So anyway, let's go back to the beginning now. You're originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about that. What was what was it like growing up in Brooklyn, New York? And what was some of your influences musically?
Growing up in Brooklyn was it was just regular to me because I come from Bed-Stuy to East Flatbush. So I'm from Brooklyn. Me and my brothers, we're from like, and the cousins, we're from Brooklyn, like for real, for real. You know, like, you know, we've seen it all. We've, you know, yeah, we're from Brooklyn, like for real. And so growing up in Brooklyn, as far as a little kid, my father got me and my two brothers into singing at a very, very young age. I think I was 6. He first got Paul into singing. Paul had an ear, a real good ear for harmonies and stuff like that, like at 13 and stuff like that, and 12, I believe. I was the youngest. And Lou, we always tease Lou. We call Lou Yetta, because Yetta. He'll do anything for the stage, man. Anything for the stage, even especially as a little kid. So my father put us 3 together. My uncle managed us at the time, along with my father. We did at that time it was amateur night at the Apollo, and it was real rugged and raw back then. I mean, like, it was real rugged and raw. As a kid, I was scared. I was really scared because my father had me believing that Sandman came out and shot you for real. You know, so I would always like. So our first time performing there, we took first place 3 times in a row, and I was scared until I hear the people start screaming and everything like that, because I kept looking to the side and seeing the Sandman was going to come out, because I was going to run. And we won 3 times in a row. Then we appeared with the headliners. Wow, that was a long time ago. That was like the Whispers. That was like Joe Tex. That was fun.
Woo! You said Joe Tex.
Yeah. I was 7.
So this is way before, you know, it was appearing on TV.
Oh yeah. It was just a legend. Yeah. Apollo was just super legendary forever, even back then. Apollo was legendary. Because I remember some of the acts that I've seen for the first time there. A matter of fact, it was years and years after, like when we first came out, and we was just blowing up with our productions and Crush Groove and whatnot. My brother saw we saw the Whispers at some function, and he said to them, he said, "Yo, man," he said, "Do you know who we are?" He said, "Yeah, I know you are." At 440, he said, No. Do you remember way back in the day when you guys performed at the Apollo? He went, Yeah. Oh, how can we forget that? Do you remember these little guys that was always coming in your dressing room watching you guys do steps? Yeah, the little dudes that was all get out of here. Yeah, blowing them away. We have such a long history, We're gonna do a documentary, and it's even like Unsung was one of the highest rated unsungs they've had with us. And I think it was heavily due to the content, because a lot of times I forget what type of history we have, you know?
Talk about it.
Yeah, so anyway, from Brooklyn, we did the whole local group thing, local band thing. And then we joined with the cousins, and I got behind the drums, you know, and we formed Full Force.
Okay, let me stop you. Let me stop for a second. Mm-hmm. So prior to playing the drums, you know, you guys were just a trio, because who was the oldest between you and Paul and Lou? Lou's the oldest.
Lou's the oldest. Paul's the middle. I'm the youngest.
Okay, continue.
So yeah, then we moved to East Flatbush, and then I got with the cousins, and Jerry played the keyboards, and then Shy Jr. played the bass, and Kurt played guitar, and I love the drums. We formed this local band, and then we put it together, Lou and Paul, and we created Full Force. That was the name Lou came up with.
You know, I got to stop you again. I got to stop you again. So check this out. I wanted to wait. I was going to wait till we get to this album, because it's one of my favorite albums by you guys.
Oh wow, smooth. Oh wow.
Yeah, this one is my shit right here. But the reason why I brought that up, because when you open the book,
wow. Oh, yeah. That's about the time. Yeah, I was a freshman in high school.
Hold on, let me get it. I want the fans to see. There we go.
Yeah, wow. I was a freshman in high school. I remember. Wow, I remember that. at that time one of the hottest groups going was Chic. You know, Chic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And which also out of New York City with
Yep.
Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers.
Yeah. So with that picture, we was trying to tap into our Chic look, you know. Yeah.
That surprised me because when I remember because this album, this is the original CD from 1980. I had this since I was 13 years old. And I opened that up and I was like amazed because I'm thinking when in my mind, I know Full Force is these, you know, guys, and then I see you guys with these suits on. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
You know? So talk about that. Talk about forming how you guys came together. I'm sorry.
So we came together, formed Full Force, did the whole local band thing. We was really, really popular as far as a local band.
Okay.
Like other groups that was popular at the time, like in GQ, there was this club called Club Ecstasy in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Everybody played. I remember New Edition when they broke out big. They played there. Dr. Khan played there. I mean, everybody played there. We was the only local band there that would play on headline night and sell it out just like all the headliners did. We didn't have a single record, nothing. So we was trying to get a deal. The interesting thing with us trying to get a deal is that we had this mindset back then that being that we could kick ass on stage,
right.
Our live performance was we were dope as far as live performance. We thought that, if you see us, we're dope, sign us. That's what we thought. But the industry was changing. It was changing rapidly. It was right about that time it started to really change. And what happened that we had a partner, co-manager named Steve Salem. And Steve Salem, God bless him, may he rest in peace. Steve Salem had more of a young white dude's outlook, which was good for us because he was like, yo, guys, you can't just keep playing these covers and just because you could turn it out, you're gonna get a deal. You got to do some of your originals. You have to, but nobody knows those originals. He's there, but that's the point.
Right.
That's how you gain a following. See, he knew about that type of shit.
Yeah.
He knew that, you had to play your originals to gain a following.
So hold on. So let me stop you for a second. So at that time, because again, you guys are legendary songwriters / producers. So at that time, you guys were not writing and producing your own material.
Because
when did you guys start? When did you guys start writing your own material? Because I mean, you guys got classic. I'm just looking at some of these songs and I'm just like blown away. So when did that start?
We were writing songs, especially me. I was writing like a lot back then and playing it with the cousins.
Okay.
And then this is before Paul and Lou was even in the group. And then when Paul and Lou joined in and we made Full Force, we all would like write songs and but we never like performed them because we just felt like, we got to get the crowd. Okay. So Steve mentioned that because we went to every single record label and was probably turned down 3 times.
Right.
Like every single label. So
now, what was it? What was your? Because we come to know. You guys have a very distinct sound, a very distinct look. What was the sound and the look of Full Force at that time? And were you guys known as Full Force back then? Because I know you mentioned Cheek. I know you mentioned Cheek, but when that the Caucasian gentleman, you said you guys need to alter, have some type of nuance with your stage appearance. What were you guys looking like when he said, when he mentioned, recommended that to you guys? And again, what were you guys known as at that time?
Well, we was on some type of like Earth, Wind, and Fire meets the original Commodore type shit. We was on it like that. Steve really didn't focus much on like the look. He was talking about the music and us playing as a band and things like that. And what he did, his concept was very smart. He had it where we were the only black band playing like rock clubs all over New York.
Okay.
Like CBGBs.
CBGBs. Yeah.
Well, we was playing clubs that black people never even been in.
Damn.
until he was there.
So y'all was playing in the same clubs with like the Ramones and shit.
REM, we opened for
REM, yeah.
back then. Yeah, REM was just a big indie group back then. So I'll never forget when the curtains opened up at Danceteria, and I literally seen people's mouths like, all these white folks like, and we killed it. We killed it. And that was another thing. Like the white folks was very receptive to your original shit. They were listening to how you're playing. They were listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was very interesting because we had a large black following, and then there was a lot of we gained a large white following in those clubs.
Okay.
So we still had to realize that we have to shop our original material, and what we have to do is we have to find a way to get out there. Steve came up with the idea. He said, "Yo, why don't you guys produce somebody, and then get them exposure and get known as producers? Then you always come back as a group."
Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Lou was like ballistic. Lou didn't like that at all. Lou was mad. I remember he left, stormed out the basement. He hated that idea. Paul was the middle child, so Paul was kind of mad, but he understood. So when
why do you think he recommended that to you guys? Because you guys like you said, man, you guys was killing it and guys were enjoying you guys' music. Why do you think he recommended that? Because I'm glad he did that, because I'm not going to say I know what you what you're saying is about to lead to, right. But why do you think he mentioned that? Why do you think he recommended that to you guys?
Because Steve was smart enough not to fall in love with shit. He didn't fall in love with things like that. He looked and see, this doesn't work. We got to do this.
Gotcha.
He didn't love it for long, unless it was working. So and he still had a different mindset than we did.
Gotcha.
We're talking about producing to become popular, to then get a deal. It was like, how long it's going to take? But I loved the idea. I loved it because I was always in creative mode.
Gotcha.
I just loved that idea.
Yeah.
So what happened is that how we met the first artist was, long story short, I had a girlfriend in high school.
Okay.
I was like a year removed from high school. And it was this guy who kept bothering her. Kind of like just a pain in the ass,
Right.
And she saw herself as like, she was one of those high school girls that, looked older, years of older. And it's like, this young kid's like a pain in the ass. He was just like a year or two younger, but to her, he was just like a pain in the ass. And she never complained about it, but she kept complaining about him.
Okay.
So Mike from Cult Jam, who we all went to school with, Mike was always in the middle somehow. Mike said, "Yo, B, I know who he's talking about. I'll show you him. Matter of fact, they got a talent show where this guy's dancing in. I'll show you. I'll point him out right there." I said, "All right, cool." So I went to the school. It was Wingate High School I like to go to. And then all these guys came out popping with the white gloves on, dancing. And the dude was really dope.
Right.
And his name was Kango.
Kango Kid.
Yeah. It was him and Dr. Ice.
And Dr. Ice. Yeah, let's go.
They could pop and dance their ass off.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, after they finished performing, Mike said, his name was Sean. He said, "Yo, Sean, this is B. This is so-and-so's boyfriend. Yo, we want to talk to you." Mike just stepped out the way. I was so intrigued by how dope he was as a performer. He like, "Yo, what's up, man?" He went to shake my hand. I'm like, looked at him and slowly extended my hand. I says, "Yo, you live in Brooklyn?" He said, Yeah. He said, "Yo, I think I want you to dance with my band. Yo, Michael texted me." And he went, "Oh, okay, cool." And Mike was surprised. And Mike looked at him. Mike said, "Yo, it's a good thing you can dance, man."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "No, because that's Woody's boyfriend. He came here to bust your ass. You just..." And that's how that. And it's funny. Kango sent a picture to me a couple years ago. It's me, him, Mike, and my ex-girlfriend back then called Booby. Like 5 years ago. It's so cool.
Right.
But anyway, long story short, Kango told us about Doc, and Kango told us about this guy named EMD, who's a rapper, and they had this DJ. So I was like, all right, let's see. And they had charisma. I'm telling you, UTFO is one of the most unsung hip hop groups. I mean,
they are.
The performance, they was dope, man.
The first 2 albums, man. Whew.
Yeah, man, their albums, man. So anyway, long story short, Steve Salem again got them a situation on an independent label, and then me and him went to talk to Fred Mineo,
okay,
who was of Select Records, and
now was Select was no, okay, that Select was indie, okay, Select, because I always thought like Select was like a subsidiary or whatever under Columbia, because I know you guys and Lisa were on Columbia, so I always figured that they was probably like the subsidiary of Columbia too.
That was kind of interesting too with us and Lisa, because it wasn't originally on Columbia. But long story short, they did an independent record called Beats and Rhymes. We produced it. You know, I did the beat, and it did okay. So we did another record, and it was called Hanging Out, and it was just about to be released. And I remember calling Steve Salem. It was late,
right?
Real late. Because I woke up at 2 in the morning with an idea. And I remember telling my mother, I said, you know, Mom, I want to do something on the B-side. I just got this idea. And she said, what made you weren't you just sleeping? I said, yeah. So I want to do a song, rap song. And I don't know why I was telling my mother, like she cared about that.
Right, right.
I told her, I said, yeah, I'm going to do a song. I'm going to call it Roxanne. And she said, why Roxanne? I said, I don't know, because it's kind of an uncommon name in the hood. I don't know any girls named Roxanne. I know Sharon, I know Debbie, but I don't know any like Roxanne's.
Right.
And then I said, and plus, the Police did it and it was a hit, so I'm gonna go with that because I love the Police, that band.
Then it was a movie. There's a movie with Steve Martin called Roxanne too.
oh yeah. But the song Roxanne by the Police.
Yeah. Of course.
Was dope. That's right. You know, thought of it from anyway. So. That was the B-side. That song was the B-side, and then I just had a concept to do. You know, I wanted to do hip hop in a way that was musical, because at that time it was just like, see, people don't realize the origin of hip hop was all about the DJ. You know,
a lot of people forget about that.
The guys rapping was hyping it up.
Secondary. It was
the DJ like Grandmaster Flash on the Wheels of Steel, and Flash cut it up, and you know, Mix Master, and he would cut it up. That's what it was, but. Time started to change, and it was all about the MC at that time, like kind of both. So I had it where I wanted to do 3 separate beats, totally different beats, you know, and have a singing hook. And then I said, well, we're gonna tell a story. I said about Girl You Can't Get, you know, and they are so dope. They were so dope. And I said, I don't know which one of y'all was rapping on it, but one of y'all rapping the big beat. And Kango said, y'all got my beat, that beat that Kango's rapping on was his, the one that opens up. Kango from UTFO. I said, cool, you rock that. One of y'all's rocking Big B. You know? And then I'll never forget Educator Rabbit said, oh, B, I'll do Big B. I think I got something. And then he let me hear what he had in his mind. And he said, I'm going to do something like, I thought her name was Barry. Right? And I lost it. I said, oh, that's incredible. And Doc was dope because I remember with Doc's rap, he made his rap go with Mix Master's scratch. Like, explain to me really what doctors must do. I said, yo, you got to do that again. And then Mix Master, he didn't at that time know how to scratch that way. He was good, but Hitman Howie T.
Got you.
Totally unsung. Hitman Howie T is a hellified hip hop producer that people aren't aware. Who did Chub Rock, who did stuff from UTFO, who did Special Ed.
Legend.
Dope, man. Really, really dope. And so Howie T is the first one that came up with that chick, 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 chick,
Okay.
So the deal is, I told Mix Master, I said, yo, you got to get it like him, Mix. I said, because I love you and all, but if you don't get it, he's going to have to do it. You can say you did it. I don't care. But for the record, he's going to have to do it.
Right.
Don't forget, I had, when you're a young boy, you don't give a shit. I didn't care. So what happened is that in the studio, Mix Master is there trying to get it, and Howie T is there too. If he can't do it, Howie T.
Howie T. Okay.
Got it. He got it. And then put the record out as a B-side. And I remember Red Alert played the B-side, and we didn't know.
Now what was the A-side?
A song called Hanging Out.
Okay, yeah, okay. You did mention that. Yeah.
So we were like thinking, the record's not going to come off unless he plays the A-side. And we was trying to tell.
I like Hanging Out, though. I remember Hanging Out. Hanging Out's dope, too.
Wow. Yeah, you do. Yeah. But hell, it wasn't Roxanne.
Nah, it wasn't.
So we didn't know any better. We thinking it was going to mess up the release, And but Red Alert, if it wasn't for Red Alert, I don't know if Full Force would have ever came to be. Because Red Alert broke Roxanne. Because there we are, the record companies telling Red Alert, yo, but Red, you gotta play the A side.
Right.
He's like, I like the B side. I like Roxanne record.
This is at the time when DJs were able to choose their own records, before it became more corporate.
Yeah, well, you know what? A lot of DJs like him always maintain that. Like even like him, Flex, Clue, a lot of these cats, even from way back to Clark Kent, they played what they wanted to play. Because hip hop was so obscure, they didn't know what to tell them to do. So hip hop was playing at like 10 o'clock and on. The radio station like, have that, go.
Yeah, I'm talking about like today, because all the radio stations today's
different.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's under clear
and playlists. It's whack right now. It really is.
More corporate, but go ahead.
It's just horrible. And it's horrible for the artists right now. It is. But anyway, that record took off, man. When a record like that takes off, it doesn't take off in a regular way. It takes off in a surreal, unreal kind of way,
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I can't believe this was a concept out of my mind. and I'm watching this dude walk down the street with a box, and these two girls are running behind him to hear it just because he's playing Roxanne. And everywhere I went, it was like, is somebody playing a joke on me? Because I'm hearing it everywhere. Bars, everywhere. Barbershops, everywhere I walk. It's like people messing with me. It was absolutely crazy. And it took off. My mind immediately went to the fact of like, okay, cool. I don't want people to think that all we do is rap. Just make rap.
Right.
I don't want people to do that. I got this idea. And I told Steve, I said, yo, I got this idea for a girl. I said I want to do something with a Spanish girl, a Hispanic young lady. And my reasoning was because all of the Hispanic people that I came up with in high school, they wasn't like, Ricky Martin or Christina Aguilera. That wasn't their mode.
Right.
They were like Fat Joe, Jennifer Lopez, Lisa. They were like that. That's what I grew up with. Yeah. So I would always tease them about Menudo, and they.
Oh, Menudo was popping though.
Yeah, but
Menudo was popping.
That was in high school, like where I was from.
Oh no! I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a Menudo fan. Nothing against Menudo. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a Menudo fan, but I remember them popping.
No, they were super huge, but you gotta understand.
That's all I want to say.
I grew up with.
The
type of cats that I grew up with. Yeah. Even if they liked Menudo, they would lie and say they didn't.
Yeah. It was kind of like the Bee Gees. Like people would make it seem like they didn't like the Bee Gees.
No, it was worse than that because the Bee Gees were dope actually. But the deal is, Menudo was like bubblegum, but Hispanic.
Right.
Bubblegum, and the deal is, I would make jokes about him, and they would go, "Yo, I don't like them, man. That's my little sister." Now they're in high school. They wasn't rapping Menudo. They was rapping to the rap records, Grandmaster Flash. The Hispanics, people that I grew up with, because my mother's Dominican and black.
No doubt.
So the deal is, I knew they didn't really feel that like that, but their little sisters and little brothers did. So my mindset was always like, yo, I want to get a Hispanic young lady like the Hispanic girls that I grew up with, the young ladies that I went to the clubs with, that we all do. Us,
right.
Mike, at the Fun House, at the Roxy, because the Hispanic young folks and the black young folks, they were like intertwined as one as far as like
Right.
the music. In the clubs, everything, you know, the up rocking, the break dancing, it was like one thing. There was always like, if there was a Hispanic crew, there was always like a couple blacks in that crew. If there was a black dancer group, there was always a couple of Hispanics in it, always. So it was a different synergy. And you know, it's funny, if I talk about stuff like this, people like Fat Joe, Jennifer Lopez, Lisa Lee, they smile because they know exactly what it is, how the New York scene was. You know, so long story short, I auditioned quite a few girls, and they were horrible. They didn't, you know, they were just like, they had a corniness about them, and I was like, nah, it can't be that. It can't.
They would probably try to give you, you know, that pop thing. You know, they probably thought that's what you. Is that one of the reasons why you think, you know, it was kind of hard finding, you know, that artist that you was looking for initially?
Yeah, it was, because it wasn't like we were some like, you know, had a worldwide audition going on and anything like that. There was no,
because we never heard anything like Lisa was the first of her kind.
Let me tell you something. Lisa,
we never seen anything like that before.
Yo, Lisa was more important than people really realize to the Hispanic community, because like everybody at audition, they were horrible, or they were like, nah, she could sing, but that's not it. They gotta have that feel to them, because I knew what it was, and we did too, because we hung out partying all the time. It was like, man, I mean, when Madonna used to be in these clubs back then, you know. So what happened? Mike was always around. Mike knew exactly what I was looking for. He knew exactly what it was. So Mike said, "Yo, B," I'll never forget. He rang my bell and said, "Yo, B, I think I got this girl that might be what you are looking for." He said, "But I was thinking, like, if you like her, yo, cause I was thinking and hoping maybe you could put like maybe me and Al, which is Spanador, in the group, and like make a group and make it like, I had this name called Cult Jam, maybe like." And I just said to him immediately, I just said, "Yo, what? Oh, Mike, I'll work something out. I'll work something out with you in it. You in it?" I was cool. Yeah. Only because Mike was always incredibly loyal. You know, Mike was actually in the band once as Full Force, like before Lou and Paul was in it. But we ended up like, nah, you're a bongo player. We don't need that, and you're not really into this. But even that being the case, that he's like, he was always out there with us 2 a.m, putting up posters for the local shows, giving out flyers. He would go hard with us, sleeping in the car, because his mindset, and he told us this years later, yo, if I just hang with my guys that I grew up with, if somehow they make it, I'm gonna be in there. He thought about that way back then.
He had the foresight.
He was smart, because that's why as soon as he mentioned it, I was already like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll be in. You'll be in. I'll work it out. I'll fit it in. Yeah, but let me see the girl. Let me see that.
Yeah. Talk about that girl.
Yeah. So we auditioned her, right? And what happened is that I remember saying, yo, let me go around the corner. Let me get Paul, because Paul's good with vocals. And I didn't want to think. I just wanted to just watch and observe, and I want to see if her image was right. So I got Paul. I said, yeah, Paul, just do regular like singing thing, harmonies. And he said, oh, okay, cool. Paul came down there, had her sing something she was comfortable with. I still remember she sung a song that Mike had wrote. It was horrible, called "To Dance and To Love." It was the worst song ever. And I always say that. It was terrible. So that song had you thinking, oh my God, this girl can't sing. And then Paul said, yo, why don't you sing something you're comfortable with? And she sung "For Your Eyes Only" by Sheena Easton. And I loved her voice. I actually loved the tone of Lisa's voice. Now, mind you, every time after the audition and she left, everybody wasn't sure, like, oh, will we pick her or not? No. I knew what I wanted. I knew she was it.
Right.
And I told everybody right there, I said, no, she's it. He said, well, we can audition more girls. I said, no, she's it. She's it. And then Paul was like, well, B, what made you feel like it's her? I said, because she sounds like, if a young girl can sing, they would sound just like her. Now, Lisa always wondered Yo, B, is that a diss? Kind of like, I said,
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I'm like,
nah,
but it makes sense. And there's a lot of other singers that came after her that I say the same thing about. You know, they're not these phenomenal Patti LaBelle type singers, Gladys Knight, but Lisa got this unique quality with her, man. This special quality. So talk about that, brother.
Well, the thing is that you got to remember, you know, I'm a kid from 7 years old. I grew up, you know, from 5 and 4 hearing Jackie Wilson and
only teardrops.
Yeah, my aunt used to sneak me, Lou, and Paul, because my aunts were like the hip hop B girls of that era. And they would be at the Apollo like every other week in the summer, and they would take us with them because they had to babysit us, hide us under the seats, and then we'd have to pop out and hold the seats till they come out and hide us in the bathroom. Yo, we were so hood. And the deal is, I got to see everything. I got to see when David Ruffin left the Temptations.
Oh my God,
the Temptations. I seen all this as a little. I mean, a real little kid. So I knew what I truly know what artist development is. So for me, hearing Lisa, I immediately was looking for that type of tone, which is like Diana Ross, that type of thing. That's why Lisa's mode and the baby and all that type of stuff, I was modeling after that mode. You know, that's why Lost in Emotion sounds like Motown. When I wrote it, I was thinking that. So Lisa's voice, it's a tone. I tell people that all the time. I say, yo, look, Patti LaBelle's amazing. This other voice, this person's amazing. But guess what? When Diana Ross goes to sing, they can't sing her song.
They can't.
Diana got to sing it because the tone of her voice.
I say the same thing. I say the same thing with Janet Jackson. Same thing.
Yeah. Well, you can. Yeah. Well, you can.
No. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, Janet's not the best singer," but I'm like, no one can sing her songs like she does, and I say the same thing. Like Lisa has these intangibles that just can't.
The difference with like Lisa and Janet is that I give a lot of credit to the sound of Janet to Terry and Jimmy.
Okay.
Terry and Jimmy is incredible. So they help hone what her sound should be.
But you don't think not to play devil's advocate, but you don't think people think that, you know, the same thing about you guys, because you guys produce, you know, pretty much 90% of Lisa. Like most people don't know how Lisa sounds without full force.
Right. But here's the thing though, with Lisa's not like, she's not really a byproduct of my imagination, my concept. What she really is that she's a reality of a concept that I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? She's who she is. Lisa's really from Hell's Kitchen. Lisa really rocked the mascara like the fly girls did back in the day. Lisa really has that attitude. Lisa really has brothers that will whoop your ass from around the way. Lisa's for real. She's for real from Hell's Kitchen. She's just not like, oh, I'm from Manhattan. Nah.
No gimmick.
New York, you know, and it comes across.
Yeah.
So that's what I was looking for. She just happened to be it.
Okay.
I loved her tone. Her tone reminded me of like a Diana Ross mode. It wasn't the Patti LaBelle. We got Pepsi for that, you know? Pepsi was a conscious decision.
Cheryl Pepsi Riley.
Right. She was a conscious decision for that. But the deal is, as amazing as Pepsi is, Pepsi can't sing Lisa's song because Lisa's Lisa.
No, that's
Just
true.
the way Patti can't sing Diana Ross's song because Diana's Diana. You know what I'm saying? And
I've been trying to explain people that a lot, man. Like a lot of people think, you know, when you think of great singers, it's always the powerhouse singers, but it's certain nuances and certain singers that you just can't put a finger on. They just, what they call it, the je ne sais quoi. You know, so it's like I feel you, brother. I feel you, but continue.
So Lisa just had that. So that was the reason why I chose her, you know, because she embodied what I was looking for. So like I said, it wasn't like, you know, Lisa was a manufactured thing for my mind and I made her think. Nah, I was looking for her and there she was. Okay. She is that, you know. So so we did a couple of demos. We did Can You Feel the Beat? We did I Wonder If I Take You Home. I Wonder If I Take You Home, that came from the song.
Hold on, slow. Hey, brother. You mentioned two classics.
I know.
Like, let's slow down because these.
I know. Well,
these are two of my, not just my favorite R&B songs of the 80s by full force. These are two of one of my favorite R&B songs, period.
I feel you.
So let's slow it down.
Okay.
Let's slow it down.
Let me tell you how we got. I wonder if I take you home.
Talk to me about how you guys came up with that concept, please.
Okay. I wonder if I take you home. Well, first of all, how that even came to be is that I always had jobs. I always had these odd end jobs, and I was doing jobs, and I always got fired from them. I always quit. You know?
Right.
You know, I'm just fresh out of high school. I always was quitting jobs. And every time I would quit a job, I would ring the bell of Kurt's house because Kurt didn't have a job and he was always there. And then as soon as I ring the bell, he would just start laughing when he saw me because he knew what it meant, you know. And so I just went downstairs, and I always had the concept as a drummer. I said, all right, I want to do this bass line, but I want to make that the bass line follows everything that the kick drum does. Because I remember another asked me, how the hell did you come up with that? I said, so I'm going to make the bass line do everything the kick drums do. So let me see what kind of beat I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that. I said, do that, do that, do that. Because the most important thing was that hesitation. That's the thing that pulls you. Because I would say to the guys, you don't have that pull, but that's what I was talking about. That. If you take that out, it's a dead beat.
Yeah.
So I knew that as a drummer. Like, if you hear a funky drummer, that.
Oh, hell yeah.
That pull. So that's how I came up with that.
It draws you in.
Yeah, like pull it that. So what happened is that I said, okay, I'm gonna do this bass line. And it's going to follow everything the bass drum does, everything the kick drum does. So it went doom, 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 and I felt it'll pull if it follows the kick drum, and it just did. And it's a crazy bass line because you listen to it go, why would you come up with it? Just wherever the kick went, the bass had to go.
Okay,
that was my concept to that. And I remember. Now the thing is this. With the cousins in full force, they're really kind of unsung in full force because a lot of times you see me, Lou, and Paul at house party, and then Lou and Paul
talk about that.
Lou and Paul are very, very visual. They're always out there. They take pictures with people. They're just out there a lot, you know. And the cousins are a little bit more laid back, and being that they were like the lead singers, you're thinking that, oh, okay, so they didn't do that much. Now, let me tell you something. Most of the songs are not the songs without them. They're not. Because even when I did Take You Home, perfect example, when I did the bass line, I just did the bass line. I'll never forget. Kurt came downstairs eating this nasty ass tuna fish sandwich with mustard. And he pulled up the keyboard next to him, the Juno 60. He pulled it up next to him.
Right.
And as the bass line's going, I taped it. It's doon 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 doon. She goes dun 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 dun.
Right.
And from that, the melody, the lyrics, it all just came.
Right.
I mean, it has nothing to do with the other, but that's where I write.
So again, for the record, because a lot of people, when we think of full force, not me, because like I said, I'm a fan, but when we think of full force, we think of you, we think of Paul Anthony, we think of Bow-Legged Lou. But we got Sha Sha on bass guitar, you got Kurt, TT on guitar, and then you have Baby G on keyboard. So when you just mentioned about that bass line, now did Sha Sha, did he play?
No.
No,
Sha Sha didn't do a lot of the writing. He didn't do a lot of the writing. But Shy and
break that down. Break that down. Like, as far as like, how did you guys come up with a lot of these concepts? Because again, full force is all six of you guys.
Right.
So talk about that a little bit.
A lot of the music, all of the music that's done by full force is done by me, Jerry, and Kurt. All of it. All of the music that's produced by full force, unless we got an outside producer to do something.
Okay.
All of the music. All of the music.
I had no idea.
In my mind, that's the song that Lou wrote the lyrics to. But Jerry did all that music, and then in the drums was programmed. I programmed the drums, and Kurt played the guitar. All the music that's done is for Force. Alice, Paul wrote the lyrics to Alice, but the bass line is Hitman Howie T. No. If I believe right, the drums
that's my shit right there. I want you here for me. That's my shit.
Jerry. The bass line is Baby Jerry.
Okay.
All the music is done by me, Jerry, and Kurt.
Okay.
Even in the production aspect. So a lot of times people don't realize how much that is.
Now let's go back for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 1985, you guys have, you got UTFO.
Right.
You guys have Lisa, Cold Jam. They taking off, you know, and then you guys came out with your self-titled project. So let's go back. What was the what was the vision for Full Force at that time? Now that you guys got a hit, you guys have 2 hits right out the park with UTFO, and you got these hits with Lisa and Cold Jam.
Yeah,
take me back. What was the vision, for you guys at that time?
Well, the hits with Lisa was kind of unexpected. That was another one of those feelings where every club you went to, that was the record. I want to take you home. It wasn't like, oh, I got it. No, you had to play that record.
Right.
And that just took off for us. So I'll never forget hearing about how Sony had a meeting, because what happened is that I Wonder If I Take You Home was on a compilation album in the UK. It was so hot that it made it back to the States on this compilation album. Sony didn't even know they had it. They didn't know they had the rights to the compilation, because in the meeting they said, listen, we got to get some street music in here. We got to get like this Lisa record. And somebody in the room had to tell me, said, hey,
you already got it.
That's our record? What are you talking about? That's on a compilation going to Journey Back to Us that we own. Wait a minute, we have Lisa? Yeah. And it's those guys who Roxanne did that. Get out of here.
Gotcha.
So Steve's whole mindset came to light. Not everybody's trying to sign Full Force. The people who created the Roxanne and the Lisa thing, well, we got to get on this street music type thing, And so the expectations was pretty high, but it's funny, we felt no real pressure from it.
That's what I was just about to ask. Did y'all,
No, and I tell people this, I said, I wish I could do that over and put the pressure on us, because pressure's good, sometimes it's really good. Mm-hmm. And I think that we took it so like, we in there, cool, we signed, we're going to do whatever, and we're going to go on tour. Yeah. I don't think that we put enough pressure on ourselves. I really don't.
Now I gotta stop you again, because again, man, you guys, when you talk about, I can understand when you talk about pressure, because boom, you guys have Roxanne, and then you have I Wonder If I Could Take You Home, goes all the way to #1 on the dance chart, number 6 on the the R&B charts. Can You Feel the Beat, which is my personal favorite, which I love more than that's my favorite song off that first project, which that album was Lisa Cold Jam with 4/4. So again, man, these songs are tearing up the charts.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like? Just knowing that you guys this wasn't how it initially started.
Yeah, this was unreal. This was unreal. I can never explain that feeling of like having like the hottest records. It's one thing to have a record that plays on the radio. Had that many times.
Got you.
But when you have the record, yeah, man, that's you could go a whole career and never have that. You can have a hit record, but that don't mean it's the record.
That wasn't a hit. I call that was a smash.
Yeah, man, it was the record.
That was a smash.
Yeah, at some point in time, it was like the record, one of those records, like the way you hear, ain't nothing about like it's all about the Benjamins or Busta Rhymes. Put your hands on the sea. Like, these are songs that was like, they're monumental. So that's kind of what that was like. So, so the pressure for us, we didn't really feel it like that, which was kind of retarded. We should have, but we really didn't. So, so we came out and
Y'all tearing up the charts, man, with UTFO
Yeah.
and Lisa and Cold Jam. But here it is, man. That is what made you guys, say, what was the vision for Full Force? Down to not just the music, not just the music, because we know the sound. There's a sound of Full Force,
Right.
that's established already.
Right.
But again, this is music that you guys have with other artists. Now, what was the vision for Full Force musically? And we got to talk about that look, because that always stood out, So talk about that a little bit.
Okay, well, the thing with Full Force, fortunately and maybe unfortunately, is that our image actually exceeded us. Our image was even bigger than our record sales.
That's true.
I mean, when I get tons of calls when Living Color was on TV, it was huge.
Yeah.
And they had David Alan Grier and Damon Wayans doing Men on Films, and they're actually critiquing. They have our album cover and they put like Jerry Curl on it. Yo, people are calling me, yo, we can't have that. We need to see them. I said, that is the biggest form of flattery ever, man.
Yeah.
The fact that they showed that on the show, and the whole place bust out laughing because they knew who we are. Do you even think about that? And my man was like, "Oh, I never thought about that." I said, "The whole place, I mean, they know who we are."
Yeah.
And it's really cool because I remember when we saw the Wayans brothers at Eddie Murphy's Boomerang party.
Okay.
And I remember the press was there, and we said, "Yo," we started like chasing them, and they were like, it was all love, man. It was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I tell you, man, those are amazing times, like the late 80s.
Talk about that though. Talk about like, how did you guys come? Because again, you guys, no offense, man, because like I said, I've been listening to you guys' music, those Columbia albums. I think they're phenomenal. But again, like you just said, you said it yourself. You guys' image exceeded the music.
It did, and
so talk about that. How did you guys come up with that look, man? Because you guys stood out from everybody.
Well, I tell you, it's mainly the fact of, even as being younger, like being like 18. So Paul was very much into like lifting weights. He was like trying to curl like a lamp at first, and he had weights in the basement, and the whole block would go down there and like work out and stuff like that. People don't realize Paul comes from a background of being small. So Paul was working out to be big. When I tell people that Paul's once like small, they go, "No." I said, "Yeah." They used to call his nickname in the streets was like Inch. Like the gangster dudes like knew Paul up to this day.
No way.
Up to this day, because Paul grew like after 17 and 18.
Oh, he had a growth spurt.
He grew like another 3-4 inches. Yeah, like so.
Now, how tall are you two?
Paul's a little shorter than me. I'm 6 feet. Paul's like, people think that we're like menacing.
Yeah, because we see you all like I'm 6'1", but when I look at you guys at House Party, man, you guys look super scary. Like I hated you guys.
Yeah, well, our presence is like that. But
talk about that.
That's Paul. The whole weightlifting thing, and by the way, because Paul started lifting, and damn near got like the whole neighborhood into it. Yeah, and everybody's just got into it. So it just followed suit with like the way he would dress and then the way we would dress. But Paul became very prominent with the headband and cut-up shirts, and I had cut-up shirts and things like that. So then we just started rocking that, and we didn't like tell people, "Yo, we're the big guys," and not like it just happened that way.
Okay,
it just happened that way, and our image was very. We were very different. We were the only type of group who could look the way we look and play like hip hop tours, because 90% of the tours we were on was hip hop tours.
Right.
Killing it, those tours. But other groups that would try to do those tours, like Levert or the that they was giving them the business. Like they couldn't do the hip hop tours. They had to do R&B tours and pop tours. They had to. But for us, we did the Fresh Fest, the Fat Boys, Curtis Blow.
Yeah,
we done all that with Houdini. Those are the shows we would do. Those were the best shows. But we were the only band that was able to play that. Waiting for the World couldn't do a tour like that.
So talk about so here we go. Let's talk about that first project. So you guys released a self-titled project with this hit. Alice, I want you just for me. Talk about that song because again, you know, this is you guys' first hit, and you guys already established yourselves as far as writers and songwriters and producers, but now you guys coming with your own shit. So talk about that. What was that like, you know, putting that song together and it actually, you know, doing pretty well?
The minds behind that song was my brother Paul, Baby Jerry, and the one who started that whole group, Hitman Howie T. That whole song is them. The lyrics of, you know, Alice, and as kids, the three of us were huge Honeymooners fans. We watched Honeymooners like the way we used to watch Lost in Space as kids. we knew, up to this day, we know every single Honeymooners episode.
Yeah.
So Paul would just quote things from that's where the name Alice comes from. He used Alice just from the standpoint of the Honeymooners.
Right.
And Baby, You're the Greatest. All of that was from the Honeymooners. And that was just one of those type of timeless, type of different kind of songs. I remember when we met Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam at a Tony Martell dinner, it was honoring us with the platinum records for Lisa.
Okay.
And they was telling about how, when we saw that video, we said, okay, these dudes got it. These dudes got it. The way that song sounded so different, and the way y'all looked, man, they really liked us. They really, really liked us, man. But at the same time, they had to let us know that they were still the big dogs who came first. I'll never forget when they got honored, my platinum plaque, I'm all happy. And Jimmy Jam, I'll never forget, with his whole shades and hat on, he said, let me see that, man. He said, yeah. See, now all you got to do is get like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, so they was killing it doing Janet Jackson with the control. And I looked at him and said,
can't forget about that SOS band.
But
Alexander O'Neal, all that.
Yeah.
But that's what you guys became. Like, it seemed like, you know, but you guys, unlike Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, man, you guys hit the ground running. Before they had their streak, they had a couple of songs with Climax and SOS that didn't really hit. You guys came right out the gate. So talk about that, man. At this time, you guys are working with Lisa. You got your own, you guys got your own style, your own, still working with UTFO. What was that like? Like, trying to balance all these acts and wear all these hats. What was that like?
We wore a lot of hats, man. But
yeah, man. See, I'm asking a question that people don't be asking y'all, man.
No. You know your stuff.
People don't be asking y'all. Everybody want to talk about house party. Nah, man. We got to talk about what these brothers have put down in this game, man, because that was insane what you guys accomplished, man.
What we did is we actually started a lot of that. We started a lot of that, like with the whole full force get busy one time, which is a slogan that Paul created. Full force get busy one time. Just saying those little things, and when we produce other people, you hear full force. It was always in people's records. And I hold
on. I gotta stop you. I just realized what you got. See, a lot of the hip hop producers do that,
right?
Man,
right.
But you guys was. Say it again, one more time.
We were the first doing that. We was absolutely the first doing that, because what happened is that after we did it, Teddy came behind us, and Teddy really started doing it a lot. Yup, TR, and he started doing it a lot as well.
You guys were saying your names though, like the producers do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, come on, man, we gotta put some respect on your name, brother. It's a reason why you're here. It's a reason why you're here, man. Talk about that.
Yeah, because we always had a street mentality, because we come from hip hop, especially coming up as teenagers. We really come from that, like hip hop, Melly. We remember seeing Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel before they had records. We remember them. They would play outdoors and they would have fire in the garbage can as keeping heat, and everybody's out around there dancing with their coats on.
Right.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But and Flash was a mystery. The Flies would just have a lightning bolt. So we come from all that. We come from that whole mindset. So that's why we always had an edge to us. That's why Paul could wear you know, the headband and the torp shirt, and then we could have the jerry curls and be like we are with gold chains.
And nobody said a damn thing.
Nah, people.
I don't remember like even back during the house party and all that time. I don't remember anybody ever saying, "Yeah, 4-4 so and so and so." Like it was.
Nah.
You guys was respected.
Yeah, absolutely. We were known as second moves. You know, when we came up, we also, you know, we grew up with some authentic people.
No doubt.
You know, we grew up with really a lot of guys from around the way that had like, you know, that's really crazy though too. Because I remember we would play a softball game every year against these guys that call themselves the Aces. But the Aces really were the gangsters of the neighborhood. Gotcha. You know, there was damn, I don't want to say much names without getting anybody in trouble.
The original 50 Cent, you remember? Yep.
Nah. Let me tell you something. No, one of the dudes that lived just 1 block, 2 blocks, 2 blocks and a half from us was like Haitian Jack. Haitian Jack played on that baseball team too, from 135 Park. I remember with Haitian Jack when people was like saying, "Yo, yeah, I don't know, man, Haitian Jack, man, he don't play this." And I said, "Who's Haitian Jack?" And people looked at me, "Yo, B Jack." That's the only Jack I know is from
the baseball.
And they said, "That's Haitian Jack." I'm like, what? Because me, the cousins, and Mike and myself, we would always do parties and stuff like that. Even mainly them, they would do parties. And when Jack had a party, now mind you, going back to 9th grade. That's how far back we know these type of cats.
Gotcha.
We played the music, you know. And I remember Jack's pops came down drunk. I want all the girls to kiss me, and then Jack's feeling embarrassed. We had us with like the gangster dudes from around our way was truly like East Coast boys in the hood, like for real. Us with our music, them with their, you know, their hustling and stuff like that. It never felt like they was over there and we were just. You know, it always felt like the block, the neighborhood. All of them, Lil Sean, Phil, Pierre, all of these guys are just guys you grew up with, man. They were just always super cool. Grew up with, I mean, they ain't play no games, but again, we grew up with some very, very official people our whole life. And we would play these dudes, the gangster dudes, a softball game every year. Now, mind you, before we had a record deal, after we had a record deal, now the park has a whole bunch of people watching these softball games. For over 15 years, we have never beat them once. And they would brag about that. We never beat them once. We come close, and we never beat them, man. But yeah, we had where we came up was really real. It was really real, man. But our whole image was very different because, like, even the Jerry curl thing, then nobody played us like that because. The West Coast, they loved us because the West Coast was rocking those Jerry.
They was rocking them Jerry curls heavy.
And they was playing no games.
Yeah.
You know, them gangsters were playing no games. So
hold on. Let me stop you for a second. So, what was a Full Force show like?
Oh,
you know, because I watched the Unsung and I was like, wow, you know. But I want to hear you. Just elaborate a little bit, man, because I'm listening to the music, but I never got a chance to see you guys live, of course. So talk to the fans, man. What was who never got to see you guys perform? Talk to me.
That's what we did best.
Like back at that time.
Yeah, that's what we did best, which even takes us back to being a local band.
Yeah.
So us as a performing band was crazy. We were like hip hop, rock, and soul. Rock was the image of what we looked like, black rock and rolls. But it wasn't like rock and roll where it was more like just we don't give a damn type of like our image where we looked, you know. But our body language was real street still. So our shows was like really off the hook, and we knew we were good. We knew we were good. I remember when we did the Fat Boys tour. The Fat Boys were the headliners. We're doing Coliseums. You had people like Curtis Blow. People had platinum albums, and we were so strong that the Fat Boys at times wanted us to go on last. We were so strong because we ended up going on next to last, you know. And like when we would do our show, we had a segment at the end of our show, at the end of Alice, and we go into this groove.
Gotcha.
And all the people that's in the show, even the Fat Boys times, would come on stage and do our steps, you know. So it was crazy. Our show was like an absolute headliner type of show. Standing on speakers, throwing water out in the crowd, swinging the guitar, throwing it down, flying from this side of the stage, going to the other, rocking with the crowd, grabbing a girl out the audience, picking her up while holding Lou like in a sandwich. We were crazy. We would do stuff. We were so rock and roll. We would do stuff like, you know, Lou, while on stage, when he starts talking to the crowd, he would get with one of the crew and say, "Yo, we'll be saying again. The higher in the sunset." The crew, get it right, yo. So Lou would say, "Listen, yo, ladies, we would tell you where we're staying at, but we can't." And they go, yeah, because the people at the Hyatt on the Sunset on 455 La Brea, they'll be upset. And and the place, the hotel would be ridiculous. The cop would be there. There would be girls packed out the glass. It was crazy. We was on some rock and roll, black rock and roll type of vibe, you know. That's why we loved the hip hop tours. The hip hop tours was ones we wanted to play. The R&B tours was cool. We did that. We did the show at the time. We did the show with, you know, it was cool. But the hip hop tours was more the closest thing to like black rock and roll, you know, especially back then. Because back then you had like R&B hip hop, you had Pepper type of hip hop kind of pop, and then you had that hip hop, you know. We play on any of them.
It was hard to put you guys in the box, man. Like, you know, what was that other group? It was another group. What's that group that used to sing Tender Love? Force MDs.
Force MDs.
They were you guys and Force MDs were the only groups that I can remember that was like
they did it too. You know, we did shows together actually. We got along with them real good always from the jump. Real good. Never no animosity up to this day. We got along Force MDs real good. We'll call them our Force brothers. They were really good dudes, man. Really good.
You guys were like hybrid groups. But you know, being, you know, when you look back now, and you know, after everything is said and done, do you feel if you could do it all over again, you know, being this, you know, making this hybrid type of music, would you still do it the way that you guys did it, or would you have chose a side? Like we're gonna be art, because you guys got these, like I said, man, you guys got some nice ballads, but then you got these heavy hitting, you know, hip hop type tracks, man. So if you could do it all again, would you have picked a side, or would you have, you know, continue what you guys were, you know?
If I had to do it over again, I would have definitely put more emphasis on like mid-tempo type of songs, but saying some street shit though. Saying some type of street tip, like the way we came across on stage.
I feel like y'all did that though on this project right here. Like that's why I'm so disappointed. Like this is my favorite Full Force album, by the way.
Okay.
This is my favorite one.
I mean, we always did well.
But this album, you know, for some reason, this album didn't hit like the other ones, which I don't understand.
Yeah. What was I'm trying to remember, what was the song from that?
Ain't My Type of Hype. Ain't My Type, which was huge here in Washington, D.C.
Yo, that's what, you know,
Friends Before Lovers. Like, come on, that's kind of like in that little mid-tempo.
Label, you know what? The label was going through a major transition at that time. With Donnie Ienner moving into the spot as Tommy Toll was stepping down. It was a thing. And
Ain't My Type of Hype was in House Party.
Let me tell you something. It's funny with Ain't My Type of Hype. That song is really done mostly by Jerry. Big Jerry. Jerry's probably the most all-around talent Full Force.
So talk about that. Like you mentioned, you know, so far as the music. Now, who, as far as the songwriter, because again, you guys are legendary songwriter / producers.
Right.
Talk about the songwriting. Who handled, you know, how did you guys, you know, handle the songwriting duties?
Songwriters was usually me, Paul, Lou, Jerry. Kurt did a lot of the music. Well, not a lot of like the lyrics like that. Like Paul did All Cried Out. And when he did All Cried Out, he got that idea from a girl that he knew that said, yeah, Paul, I I can't cry anymore. I'm so all cried out. And instead of comforting her, he just saw a song in his mind, you know. And that's how that song came to be. Yeah, me, Jerry, Paul, and then Lou. Lou did all in my mind as far as the lyrics to that.
That's my favorite 4/4 song right there.
That's a lot of people's favorite 4/4.
That's my favorite, man. When the country opened back up, you know, and are you guys planning on, you know, going on tour, performing and doing?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, we're gonna do that again.
I would love to see you guys perform that, man.
Yeah.
That would, you know.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Lou also did "Thanks for My Child" too.
Okay. Cheryl Petty, which was a
him and Jerry,
which was a huge departure from what you guys, you know, normally do. You know, we've heard ballads from you guys. We heard ballads from, you know, Lisa Coat Jam, but that particular ballad, that was different.
That was a very different. I remember programming the drums, and I remember not letting the drums come in until mid through the song because I just felt like I just can't mess with these lyrics. I just gotta let it rock, you know, because the lyrics are so deep. Because that song came from when Lou and his wife at the time, she had a miscarriage.
Okay.
And it really messed with him, and that's how he wrote "Thanks for My Child," based from that. Because what happens after that, they had a kid, and he was just so grateful, and he came with "Thanks for My Child." So yeah, that's how.
How did y'all link up with Cheryl Pepsi Riley? You know,
because one of the things that happened is that Cheryl belonged to a local band too. The funny thing is, I don't even remember her in the band. I remember it was always this big fat dude that played trumpet, always running from side to side that Paul would imitate. We would laugh. But I don't remember Pepsi, and I just remember a voice singing. Because what happened is I remember talking to Steve and Lou at this outfit that we was at. Fresh off of doing Lisa, and I'm thinking of the next thing. I'm like, yo, we need to have our own soul singer, like our own Mickey Howard, our own Patti LaBelle, our own Nita. We need our own so people know, yo, we do that, you know? And then Lou said, well, you know, I know this girl. And this girl named Cheryl. First thing I said is, how she look? He said, I think she looks good, man. I think she looks good. I said, all right, well, let me see a picture, something like that. And then when Lou showed me the picture, I said, yo, I love her. I love her. Pepsi looks like your favorite young school teacher at that time. She reminded me of this old TV show. My God, I don't know how young I was, 5, 6, maybe. It was a TV show called Time for Julia, where Diane Carroll was the star. She had a son named Corey.
Oh, I remember that. I thought it was just called Julia. She played a nurse.
Right.
Yeah.
When I looked at the picture, I said, Julia, Time for Julia. She looks like that. She looks just beautiful, real, and wholesome, and just beautiful. Black, beautiful woman. That's what Pepsi looks to me.
Oh, so you guys gave her that name. You get
Steve Salem again. Steve Salem said, "Well, I'm gonna put something in her name. How about Cheryl Pepsi Riley?" And I'm like, it just sounds odd enough to be right, you know. He said we could spell it different, 2 eyes, like that.
With 2 eyes, yeah.
And then Lou was like, "Yeah, yo, that sounds great." And then Paul's like, "Yeah, it's perfect because she's always so bubbly. Pepsi was always upbeat, you know." And yeah, that name stuck.
So look, talk about what, you know, I mentioned you guys was wearing a lot of hats. You guys were just, you mentioned Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, man, and I know you're being modest, but you guys was kicking ass, man, in the 80s, man. I'm talking about working with Samantha Fox, you know, I'm talking about LaToya Jackson. I'm talking about, you know, James Brown. What was that like working with the king, the godfather of soul, man, on that his comeback album, man? Talk about that.
Well, you know, I always say that real legends that were great performers, they're usually great performers that are legends. There's always a part of them that's visually stuck in time, and you want them that way. You know, you want them that way. Like when you see Prince, even up until his passing, even though he calmed it down, he still wasn't regular. Like the way he looked, his clothes, everything. Michael Jackson neither.
I agree.
You know, James Brown, same thing. When he came to the studio, he came in a full-length mink coat. His hair was processed to the side. He had on red shades. He had an ascot scarf coming out. And he came in there with Reverend Al Sharpton followed right behind him. You know?
Hold up. So James Brown is up.
Yeah.
So James Brown is up in the studio with Reverend Al Sharpton.
Reverend Al Sharpton, I'm glad he brought him too. Because man, we was always asking everybody's advice. Yo, what should we do? What should we not do? You know, and
but hold up. So let's go back. How did that collaboration? How did you guys pick him? Did he pick you? How did you guys end up linking up?
Well, Lou was at I don't know what he was doing there. I'm sure some type of business or something, but he was at Scotty Brothers, and he was Scotty Brothers, which is the label he was signed to at the time.
And that was under Columbia. Was it under Columbia? Okay.
Yeah, it was under Columbia.
Okay.
And they talked about doing a James Brown album, and Lou said, "Yo, why don't you let us do it? Let's do the album." They was cool with it, and that's how it happened. And the one who did the first single, which was "I'm Real," that was Lou and Kurt. They did "I'm Real," and then "Static." That type of song is like Paul all day. Paul's into the greasy, give your souls, clap his hands real loud, and that was right up his alley, Paul. So Static. Paul did that one. And
what was that experience like? Talk about what was it like? I mean, here you guys are young guys, man. You are. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like you mentioned the Apollo. I'm pretty sure you guys probably seen James Brown at the Apollo.
Oh yeah.
So now you are in the studio.
It was mind blowing.
Godfather himself.
Yeah, it was mind blowing. You know, it's funny. Not very. I mean, I'm a dude that's been in this business since I was 5, and I've seen everybody, and I've worked with so many people. Yeah. So it's very hard for me to be like awestruck. You know, like where it's like, yo, I'm really here with this person. James Brown was one of those people. James Brown, and believe it or not, James Brown. And when we did the music to Michael Jordan's Playground, his first successful.
I remember that tape, that VHS tape.
Yeah, that was the year they won the championship too. So that was huge. That's still one of his biggest selling videos. Yeah, those two guys really kind of was like, wow. And for some reason, also Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't know. I always was marveled at him. But with James Brown,
he from here. He from the crib, Sugar Ray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here in PG. I'm from PG County.
That's right. That's right. But with James Brown, for me, you know, for all of us, it was just so surreal because, I mean, my God, it's James Brown, and I remember imitating him as a kid. I'm sure there's a picture somewhere my mother had where I used to use the vacuum cleaner. We always used the vacuum cleaner as a mic, you know, like when we practice. And I would throw water on my face to act like I was sweating like him, you know.
Hold on. So who was coming out there? Which one of y'all was coming out there with the jacket, putting it up? Who?
Oh, we all did that.
Okay, y'all took turns.
Yeah, we all did that, man. I remember that. The "Please Don't Go" thing. Yeah, so to work with James Brown was really crazy. And James Brown was going through a lot at the time too. He was at the time with the drugs and the wife and chasing people and shooting. It was crazy. But Rolling Stone magazine, everybody's trying to interview us about that, and we're just saying, "Oh no, he's great. Nah, there's nothing going on." He was bugging out in the studio too. But
what was the craziest experience that you guys had with James Brown? Working with him, because a lot of people again that "I'm Real" did reach number 6 on the chart. So it was some great music that came from that collaboration. So, but again, what was the craziest experience you guys had with James Brown?
It was just the fact of like a lot of times he wasn't like. All right, one of the things he would just do things like. Like, all right, I had a song that I wrote, and I saved the song for last because I figured, let's knock it out real quick. It's just gonna be like a good album cut, something like that. It's called "Can't Get Enough." And when we got to the song, I said, "All right, Mr. Brown, so we're gonna do the song." I had to tell him the lyrics, and I was about to tell him the lyrics, and he said, "I'm not gonna do the song." And I'm like, but Mr. Brown, why? How come? How can I do it? He said, "I'm not going to do the song because I'm just not going to do the song." But what's the reason? The reason is that I'm not going to do the song is because I'm not going to do the song. And I just looked towards the engineer, and I can see Jerry and the engineer, Tony Maserati, hide behind the console just laughing because I'm in the booth trying to get this going. And I said, yo, call Paul and Lou, because they was dealing with him a lot. Like, you know. So what was funny is that Paul and Lou pop into the room like Lenny and Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, like don't stop veterans, you know, like, yo, what happened? What's going on? What happened? What happened? Why was
Yeah.
You know, so I had to play like psychology, and he said, I don't like lyrics. And I said, well, Mr. Brown, what the lyrics are basically saying is saying that she just can't get enough because you're the greatest ever. You're the greatest performer. You're the greatest man. And she's just trying to let you know that she can't get enough.
Mm-hmm.
And she's begging for you to come to her and be with her. She just can't get enough, Mr. Brown. It's you. You're just that great. And then he went, that great, huh? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll do the song. And that's how it got.
Hey, your James Brown impression is on point, man.
Oh no, Paul's impression is amazing. On the records, there was times where Paul would have to say, it's not enough adlibs, and he was like, hey, come here.
Yeah, you gotta do those sound effects, them grunts.
Oh, Paul's a master at that. I mean, he really sounds like, we would laugh when he would do it, but nah, Paul really master, because we did a whole album, so you had time.
Exactly.
You had time to get him down. But yeah, that was Patti LaBelle's interesting because we actually turned Patti down. We were so busy, and we was gonna go on the road, and all we cared about was going on the road. And we said, no, let Patti know that, you know, we don't have time, you know, but we love her. We do it again. We come back. Yo, the next day, we're in Sigma Sound.
Ooh.
This woman opens the door, and it's Patti LaBelle in the studio. She goes, listen, Full Force, I heard you're not going to do my album. Y'all going to help Miss Patti with this album, okay? All right, so I'll be right out here when y'all finish. Y'all come out there and talk to me. And we looked at each other like, and like little kids, we all just walked out there and we talked on our album. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you guys was in high demand. I mean, you guys work with Jasmine Guy, you know, Samantha Fox. Now that one is very underrated, man. That Samantha Fox, talk to me, because I'm out of all the collaborations outside of Lisa and Colt Jam, which was, you know, of course, everybody loves that one. Talk to me about that Samantha Fox. That's my favorite collaborate around that time. I like that more than the James Brown, even though
that album, both those albums went platinum too. And in the UK, she was huge.
Yeah, she was huge, man. She was. I don't think people realize how huge Samantha Fox was. And matter of fact, that first single that you guys, the first song that you guys did with Samantha Fox, I believe that was your biggest pop hit. Went all the way to number 3.
Yeah, that was big. Naughty Girls.
Because Lisa, What If I Take You Home at the time, I think that went to only number 6.
Something like that, yeah.
But that went all the way to number 3.
Yeah, that did really good.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I said the pop song that probably did the biggest sales wise and chart wise, probably the Backstreet Boys, number 3. That was a big record we did.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Samantha Fox,
which was crazy because y'all work with NSYNC at the same time too.
Yeah, that's
my shit. That I just wanna be with you. Oh man, hold on. Let's start there for a second, because that's I was in college when that came out, and that album, you know, I like people. You know how people, like you just mentioned, Menudo. People don't want to admit how dope NSYNC was. They a pop group. No, NSYNC on that song right there. That to me, that showcased like that soulfulness, man. So
yeah, that was
real quick. Oh, okay.
And I tell you, NSYNC, they were the business, man. NSYNC was real, man. I mean, I tell you, I never seen a group. Damn, I had to say it. I never seen.
Talk about it, man. If you don't say it, I'm about to say it, man. I want to say it.
NSYNC was. I never seen a group with that kind of stamina. Yo, they had in their mind to always top the Backstreet Boys, because they felt they were better.
Hold up, time out. I gotta say this. Please do not forget your train of thought. NSYNC, I'm sorry. NSYNC was better than the Backstreet Boys in the black community. I'm gonna be honest. In the black community, we didn't really listen to Backstreet Boys like that, but we always liked NSYNC. We wouldn't admit it like that, but if you go over anybody's house, they were playing NSYNC. Now you guys were our introduction to Backstreet Boys, and as far as the black. So I just want to mention that real quick, and you can go ahead and finish. Like I said, don't forget what you about to say, brother.
Now NSYNC, they would actually every morning go jogging together, run miles. Yeah. And while they run, they would sing. They were crazy. And I remember with that same type of philosophy, we had a group named Ex-Girlfriend that they would do the same thing. But yeah, NSYNC was.
Hold on, time out. Y'all was working with Ex-Girlfriend?
Yeah, that was our group.
Wow, that was slip past me. Yo, I'm embarrassed, man. I did not know y'all was working with Ex-Girlfriend.
Ex-Girlfriend came about that I had this whole concept where
I remember Ex-Girlfriend. I did not know that you guys was working with Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah.
You had to why can't you come home with me? That's them, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Did y'all do that?
Yeah. That was one I did.
Y'all did that?
Yeah.
Oh man, you stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm embarrassed, man. I did not know that. For me to be a Full Force fan, I had no idea. Cool. I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah,
I know that song though. That song I like that song.
Yeah, they were tough. Ex-Girlfriend was really, they had opportunity. They could have been really, really huge. There was a lot of internal stuff going on, but
the girl groups at that time was just crazy.
Oh,
yeah. Jade and SWP. Oh man, can go on and on, man.
Yeah. After that, then SWP came like a little after that. Then Allure, W, then Black. The girls group was killing at that time too.
Now, I know you guys work with Black. I know you know.
Oh yeah. I just sometimes forget we did that one. Yeah. Well, we worked with Allure, Allure, Black, and 3LW.
Okay, so let me go to Allure. Now, of course, they redid You Guys All Cried Out.
Right.
Now, did you guys work on that one? And how did you feel about them remaking? Because at that time, that was the first song by you guys that was ever covered, if I believe.
Yeah. Oh no, we loved it. We loved the fact that they did it over, and they did it good too.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those because you wanted to do well. You wanted to do well. I mean, so when they did it over, they did it 112. We were happy with it. In fact, I believe that was like an introduction of like how we kind of became close with Allure through that whole All Cried Out.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you guys manage Allure, right?
Yeah.
Even to this day.
Yeah, like right now, yeah.
Okay.
They're about to do it's gonna be crazy. They're gonna be doing like this video podcast as well. People don't know, those three girls, they're out of their mind.
That first album, let me say this before you say anything else. That first album is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That self-titled album is nuts.
Yeah.
They got it's some classic songs on that particular project. So look, I have to I got to get to this question. Okay. This is one of what you guys are most known for is appearing in the movie House Party, the original House Party. Talk to me about that. What was it like getting that call by, I don't know, the Hutland brothers or however that, what was it like getting that call to appear in this movie with Kid and Play and Harris, man? What was that experience like?
We didn't realize the magnitude of it at the time. I don't think anyone did. Because we did Crush Groove, me and Paul. And that was fun. That was in the middle of touring. So we always had this image, especially I guess me and Paul and myself, as far as like full force, tough bullies, and you know.
Now you was Zilla.
Right. So what happened is that,
which I didn't even realize. I didn't even know your name up until like last year.
yeah, right.
I never knew your name in the movie. I just know you as the
Yeah. Nobody remembers the name. Remember Pee Wee, if anything. But
Pee Wee, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what happened is that Reggie Hudlin was talking to a guy who we knew very closely, who also was a co-producer who produced us way before we even had a record deal, named Robert Ford. I mean, he rests in peace.
Okay.
And in the script, Reggie said it shows, and the bullies should be like full force. And then Robert Ford said to him, he says, well, instead of getting bullies like full force, why don't you just get full force? He's like, well, I don't know them. He says, I do. He says, yeah, you put me in contact with him? He says, yeah.
Now, hold on. What does he mean by that? We need to be bullies like full force. Was you offended by that?
Nah, not at all, because I knew what he meant. You know, the deal is that.
What did he mean? Because I don't.
Because he had a script, right? And in the script, these teenagers was getting bullied, or they was getting like challenged by these characters in the script. And he said their presence should be kind of like full force. I was cool with that. Yeah. You know, I love stuff like that. I'm such an alpha. I like that type of stuff. I like when that's what they get when they see us. They think that. I love that. You know, I love that fact they see full force. Yeah, they don't play no games. I was cool with that. So when he mentioned that, he said, yo, why don't you just get full force instead of guys who are like full force? And then when he contacted us, he reached out, and I think Paul got that call, and Paul told us about it. And Lou came up with, that's the most genius thing Lou came with ever, was the fact of, in the script, my name was Pee Wee. Lou was Zilla.
Okay.
That. Now, the characters didn't have no real like personalities like we developed them to.
Oh, okay.
They were just, bully guys, And Lou said, yo, B, why don't you take the name Zilla? I'll take the name Pee Wee because you and Paul are bigger than me. So I'll take the name Pee Wee and I'll create like a Joe Pesci type character for that. That, okay, but I'm doing this kick the fucking ass thing. I got this whole... And yeah, so the deal is, what people don't know, that we used to do plays, we used to do scripts, we used to do this since we were kids. So when we did these lines, Lou was like, yo, let's change up these lines. And we changed up all of our lines. Okay. None of our lines are the way to go. I smell pussy. We made all that up. All that
up. Gonna kick yo.
Everything you hear, we made up. All of our lines, we changed them, And we just did it in the framework, but even the song "Run Around Town" like everything we
Hold on, so y'all came up with that song too?
Everything.
Oh man, everything. that song is I still remember that. I still remember that song word for word to this day. So talk about it.
Yeah, and Reggie was smart. Reggie was smart because when we in the trailer we showed him, well, this is what we're thinking about, And when we did it, they lost it. They said, do it, keep it. Yeah. So they knew what to say. They said, nah, that's too much. Yeah, do it. Yeah. They were great at that. And they were smart. What they were smart about is that they knew how to let talent do their thing and then when to pull them back. And because we changed our lines, that changed everything in the script. That changed everything. Kid and Play started changing their lines, like the whole thing of when we're at the door.
Yeah.
And he opened up we said, I smell pussy. And then he opened the door. And we smelled like a bunch of dicks and all of that stuff. So everybody started to bring their whole thing in. And Ain't My Type of Hype was just a song that everybody just kept playing on the set.
Oh, man.
We didn't expect it to be the song in the movie. But
that's why that song resonates with me now, man, because again, I remember when that song came out, but
yeah, not the movie now. It's the house party song now.
It's the house party song, man.
Forever. It's the house party song. And it's timeless.
Timeless.
The type of song it is. It's like you never heard a song like that before. So it worked out. We none of us knew it was gonna be a historical movie like that. I do remember that New Line Cinema wanted to make the movie like halfway, maybe like 3 days of shooting, they was thinking of making it PG-13.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we all flipped. We damn near boycotted because we told them and said, nah, you screw the whole thing up.
Oh, hold up, because you know what? Because of Kid and Play, because you know at that time they were like the clean cut. You know,
they just thought in general that all the cursing and stuff. We said nah, because when you're a teenager, you curse far more than when you're an adult.
Man, what exactly?
Yeah, and you would take out the legitimacy in it. So Reggie went back and said they're all together on this, and they're not feeling that PG thing. So then they were like, all right, we don't want to fight with them. And they were glad that they didn't. They didn't, because you know that movie's timeless. I mean, I can't count the amount of like when that thing cameo, the amount of parents that would say, listen, my son's turning 17, and please, if you guys could do the whole anything in the house party, and they know all the lines, they know all the different, they know it all. Yeah. And it's like, damn, the kid wasn't even born and he knows the whole movie.
It's like The Godfather with me. Like I was born in 78. I was born in 78, but I know all the lines from Taxi.
Wow.
And God, because those movies was just yeah, they's classics, you know. But House Party, I went to see that.
Right.
I was 13 when that came out. So when that came out on the playground, I mean, we were just, I mean, it here in DC, that movie was a classic when it came out. And you just mentioned like you didn't realize how historic it was going to be. That first year, like going into 1991, 92, that movie was a classic back then.
It is.
It was a classic.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you just didn't know. You didn't know it would be what it is, because it's a phenomenal success, man. That and it's like one of those movies that's going to last forever.
Forever. What was it like working with Robin Harris, the late Rob? Because, you know, he died, I believe, during the making of that or before the movie was released.
Yeah, no, he died. He filmed the whole movie. It was after. And
yeah, man, that was a huge shock right there.
Yeah, man, because Robin was so cool, man. He was so funny. Like the whole improv thing, he like, just by example, he like made everybody want to be better. Because I'll never forget looking at the script, and his name was Pop, his father.
Yeah. And
anytime it said Pop and had the lines there, I said, yo, Reggie, what's going on? Like, I don't see the lines. Like, where's the lines for him? Like, and he said, oh, don't worry about it. Wait till Robin gets here. He said, none of his it. You'll see. And he improv everything.
No way.
Everything. Even the scene with the cops. He said, yeah, I'm from a small town called Fresh for Cops' ass. All of that, man. Robin Harris is so, and what he says that it was about to be his time too.
I know, man. He was about to be that next guy.
Yeah.
He was about to be that guy, man. Rest in peace to Robin Harris, man. We lost a legend, man. So how come you guys, you know, you guys were you guys in the second one?
Yeah, we was in the second one.
Y'all played this security. Y'all was.
Yeah.
When the second one came out, I'm gonna be honest. I think I only seen the second one maybe twice.
We didn't even like the second one, honestly.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I only seen it twice.
The second one did well, but we didn't like it. But I mean, the way they was doing this thing was horrible too. Because number one, it wasn't like the Hullen brothers were doing it, so that was a mistake right then. Right there, it was a mistake off the bat. And it was like, it wasn't the same type of environment at all. Yeah. The vibe was cool with the people, like Latifah was dope as far as a person and working with us, stuff like that. But the whole flick was just not.
It was something missing. It was something missing with the second one.
Everything was missing. It wasn't that cohesiveness. It wasn't. It wasn't that. I remember going to Martin's set, and we would talk about that when Martin just got his show, and we would sit there and just talk, and Martin would say, "Yeah, it wasn't like the first one. That first one is forever, man. That first one forever." I said, "Yeah." I said, "He said, nah, B, you don't get it, man. That first one, that's gonna be forever, man." Yeah. I didn't realize it. He did.
Y'all set the bar high,
man.
And it's not like House Party 2 it wasn't bad, but it was just the first one was just so damn good, man.
I mean, it's because that was the movie that launched Martin. House Party.
Yeah, Bilal.
That launched him. Yeah, that launched him. He did good in Do the Right Thing and
Yeah.
but nah, it was House Party that launched him, and that launched him right into Def Comedy Jam, and then he was on his way from that.
Okay, so again, a lot of us know you guys from Full Force. Do you guys, do you guys ever get offended when people are more they celebrate your roles in House Party opposed to your accomplishments musically, man? Because
that's especially the young folks. Like that's what they know.
Because it doesn't hold. I'm gonna be honest, no disrespect, but it really doesn't hold any comparison to the music. Like
no, absolutely not.
The music, it crushed it. Like if people knew you do, like what they say, do your Googles,
right?
Do your Googles or Wikipedia. I mean, what you guys accomplished, man, is crazy.
Yeah,
so
no doubt about it. But the young people, they know. I mean, House Party for them, man. It's crazy. They know the lines, they know the dances. I mean, they know the lines to the whole movie, and they're like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean,
I can't wait till my son turns. I was 13 when that came out. I think I'm gonna let him see him when he probably like maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna see it either way. It's just one of those movies. Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed that when I look on YouTube and see all these kids doing the dance thing and the whole routine to Ain't My Type of Hype, and I see all the black bands, college bands playing Ain't My Type of Hype, and I'm like, damn, this is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Man. So it feels good to be part of something so iconic like that.
No doubt. So, a lot of people don't know, man, that you guys also work with Rihanna on that first first album, man. So come on, man. Let's talk about that. Did you guys ever realize that Rihanna will be this brand ambassador, this this icon?
We hope so, because I remember we had
that was on the La La song.
Yeah, Paul did that one. Paul and Jerry did that one. I believe Paul and Jerry did that one, but I know Paul did it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we knew that she's gonna come off. We didn't know she was gonna be like iconic, but we knew that she was gonna. Well, we felt like she was gonna be successful because the way Tai and Jay felt about her, they felt like.
Are you Jay-Z's cousin, Tata?
Right. Tai and Jay himself, they just had a thing for her. Like she had this, and I tell you, they saw more of it than I did. Because I'm looking at her going, she's dope, but they're like, nah. They see like something else, and she became that. But I think she grew into her stardom, though. I really do. I think she grew into it.
Yeah, that first album was I wouldn't say it was overlooked, but I'm gonna be honest, I never saw that. Listen to that first album. Like I never thought that she would be this global icon.
Yeah, I got it on my wall right here, but it's 1 million sales and counting worldwide. It did really.
Which one is that one behind you? That's directly behind you. To your right. To your right.
All right. That's the first Lisa album.
Okay. Yeah. Go. Let me see some of these things. Let the fans see.
And damn, I gotta turn this like. Damn, it's hard to get this right.
Okay.
Let me see.
Now, which one is that?
How do I do this? Why is that doing it? Oh, I gotta come over here then.
Yeah. That one. Okay. One is that. That one right there. What's that?
And that's the second Lisa album.
Okay.
Called Spanish Fly.
Spanish Fly. That's the one. That's the one that got head to toe on it, right?
Right. And this wall.
Oh, Rihanna.
Yeah, that's Rihanna there. Who's that over there? Who's that right there?
Whew.
Oh yeah, that's 3LW right there.
Okay. Backstreet Boys right behind you.
Let me see. Who's this over here?
Is that Little Kim?
Wait a minute. Am I getting this right?
I know y'all did something on the LaBelle Mafia album too.
Yeah, they did. I wonder if I take you home.
Yeah.
Then I'm blocking that. Let me see. Okay, that's Allure.
Yeah, Lord.
Allure. And what's under that?
I got a link with Allure, man. There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
That's that LaBelle Mafia.
Yeah, that's Lil Kim.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. And that's Selena in the background. I can't get over it. The Black Eyed Peas.
Sheesh.
That's In Sync. Samantha Fox. LFO. Yeah, that's it. And I got someone in the basement.
Where's UTFO?
Oh, they're in the basement.
Okay. Yeah, so that's amazing, man. So here we are, man. You brothers, been in the game. We talking about 30 plus years. When you think back to all that you guys have accomplished, man, did you ever realize that you guys would be where you guys are at, would be as highly revered as one of the premier singer-songwriters of your time?
No, not really. No. We just was looking to get in this game and make it. We was really seeing it that way. Like I said, if we did it over, we was just having fun. We was having fun and just doing it, If we did it over, it would have been wise to put more pressure on ourselves and looked at it more like, like if you look at the dopest ball players, they didn't look at it just like, we're going to go out there have some fun. Let's go. Nah, they're like, let's really, I'm taking this serious. I'm practicing. And yeah, it could be fun, but I'm taking this more like that attitude. We were more like, this is great. It was like that for years, And we was about that business, but it wasn't like we put that pressure on ourselves. Okay. Yeah, I would have definitely did more of that if we did it over again, for sure.
Was there ever a time in you guys' careers where you doubted yourselves, didn't realize, or did you, like, man, how can we top what we've already accomplished, or just doubt, period?
Yeah, what happens is that, and this happens to everybody, that you have this feeling, because you're young, and you have this feeling like somehow, some way, it's just never going to end. And it does. It don't mean that you become obsolete.
No doubt. Yeah. Say that.
Yeah. But the deal is, you're only the nowness once, and I don't care who you are. You can have a long run at it. We have a long run and we're still doing things, but the deal is that feeling of the nowness, knowing and feeling. Right. You get that once, man. You gotta have a good 5 to 10 years of that. I thought, like Babyface, I thought he would never have. That was a hell of a run. That was like a Motown monumental type of run.
Yeah, I was like the trifecta, man. You, Babyface, and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah.
And you could throw Teddy Riley up in there too.
Yeah, Teddy's. Let me tell you something. Teddy pushed everybody.
Yeah.
And he pushed everybody because his drums, man, the way his drums would sound, the way he compressed those drums, and he put pressure on everybody, which was good. Which was really, really good. The thing I loved about Teddy is that I remember he invited us to his the launching of his record label, Blackstreet and all that stuff. He personally invited us, and when he walked in, he came over to us and named everybody by name. Because usually they don't know everybody by name like that. He named everybody by name without mistake. Baby Jerry, Kurt. He was a fan, and what I really liked about it that he said to me, and I realized, I was talking to him. He mentioned that when he was in, I think, Club Bentley's, a club in New York, he said, man, what I never forgot, because I couldn't understand, I was flattered, but why was we in guys' album credits? Like guys was in the album, their thank you credits. And he said because he never forgot that when he seen us in the club, he said, and it was me that he came up to, and he said that he was asking a bunch of questions. He said, and we answered every single one.
Oh, that's what's up.
Every single one. He said he never forgot that. He never forgot that.
Do you remember that? You remember that?
I only remember him asking me questions because there was a guy that was with him at the time that used to be in guy named Timmy Gatlin.
Timmy Gatlin, yeah.
That's the only reason why I remember that.
I was supposed to be interviewing him as well.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I remember that. I'm like, wait a minute, I think he was. I remember this. I think I remember this. And he asked a bunch of questions, and that's why it's important. My brother Lloyd said that it's always important to be nice to people that are
Mhm.
fans because you don't know who is who and where who will be.
Oh,
You
no.
know, because that had an impact on him because he never forgot it. And he
Mhm.
put us in the album credits because of that. Still
No doubt.
invited us out to this whole launching party because it knew everybody by name because of how
Right.
we interacted with him. That's
Okay.
powerful, man. You always got to be good to people, man. You got to stretch your patience if you're tired or work. You have to, man, because you never know where that person's gonna be. You
Okay.
never know.
So here we are. We in 2021. Music has changed a lot since you guys first came on the scene.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, who was some of the artists that you listen to now?
Ah, I really, really, really like Bruno Mars.
He's dope.
I really like Bruno Mars because Bruno Mars is truly the essential throwback. You know, his music is 90s and 80s, and he's absolutely unapologetic about it. And
Yes, I
he's
love it.
killing it, doing it that way. And when you really listen to it, you go, yo, this guy came through in 80s and 90s forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And even this joint he got with Anderson .Paak, yo, he's
It's
doing
crazy.
Delphonics type stuff. Even the way the harmonies, even the way the reverb is compressed,
Yeah,
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 everything, everything.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
the look of it, I'm like, yeah, you gotta love that, man. You
yeah,
have to love that. So
yeah.
yeah, I really, really like Bruno Mars. And as a performer, he's a
The
throwback.
best.
Yeah.
He's arguably the best performer right now, in my
Well,
opinion.
well, yeah. Well, Breezy is pretty dope. Breezy is pretty dope
I think Bruno Mars is a much better singer than Chris Brown.
because of the grit in his voice. You know, the range of
He
his soul.
doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. I don't hear any studio enhancements in his just natural voice. See, like a lot of
Yeah,
these artists, I feel I hear they have different little things added on their voices or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Well, you
But
know,
with,
in
with
all
him,
fairness
it
to
sounds
them, the world is very different. Like I could hear Chris Brown's records, and the deal is Chris Brown's very in tune with the timing of what the climate is too. So what a lot of these singers do that's really good, they will dumb down their singing, you know, and use auto tune and try not to sound as polished. It's crazy. But I remember
I,
hearing Miguel doing that song. I forgot the name of that song. It was a hit for him.
adore.
Nah,
All I want is you.
nah, Miguel did it. It's
No,
super. Nah, damn, I can't believe I remember this song. It's a good song, but he's singing through the whole vocal auto tune type thing.
he can sing though.
I know, but that song he consciously doesn't sing it to sound dope, consciously. And a lot of singers do that. You're not realizing that because the whole auto-tune mode of what's going on now, the R&B is like they're like scattering or running just to try to save themselves. You know, because R&B is totally like when you have rappers doing auto-tune and they're calling that soul music R&B, that's like wow. They're not even calling that hip hop. That's actually R&B. When you listen like to the radio, they don't play anybody like that's singing. If,
no, no.
yeah, they
And that's,
treat that like it's neo soul or something, you
but
know?
that's the thing. That's the problem that I have because I feel like you should call it like put in another category.
Yeah, but they don't.
You
They don't.
know, because it kind of you have artists that still want to sing. They don't want their voices to be. They don't want that voice corrections or any like
Yeah, but it's a
you
different
know.
time, man. It's a different time.
You don't think you can you can have because that leads me back to my to my next question. You don't think rhythm and blues will ever get back to the forefront that it once was?
I think, yeah, I do. I think
Traditional rhythm and blues.
yeah, I think it's gonna come back that traditional because it's gonna be so sorely missed. It's just gonna be like clothes. You know, you'll see people wearing bell bottoms again. It's going to happen. You're going to see them wearing like the Adidas type jackets, the windbreakers. It's going to happen.
Right.
And I believe that R&B is going to do the same thing. I mean, if somebody told you that they're going to be rocking straight leg pants, like as straight as you'd be like, nah, you're talking about the 50s where there's rock and stuff like that.
I got some on right now.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe it back when Run DMC was doing like my Adidas, those type of jeans like that. But I believe it's going to come back like that, where it's going to be like, right, enough for the auto tune. You know, I've actually that's going to happen, but it's going to be years from now. But it will happen. It'll definitely happen.
I just wish they would just put it in another category, because I feel, you know, it's sorely missed. You know, you have a lot of great singers. You know, it's no way in hell that, you know, we as Black people just forgot how to sing. You know,
no, but that's another thing. That's one of the problems that we have to realize with ourselves as Black people, that sometimes we're just too hip for our own good. You know, so the deal is we're talking about how, you know, there's culture vultures and white folks are stealing our stuff and stealing our soul and taking our soul. I'm like, you ain't trying to hear that. They're not stealing anything. We're giving it to them because we don't want it.
And then that's the problem. Why is that? Because it seems like when they do our music, they are celebrated more like it's the bee's knees, like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like
they just show more versatility, and that's just honestly what it is. Because you could go listen to Z100 and you'll hear Ariana Grande, and she's singing. And she's doing the style like rappers, but she's singing it. And then you'll hear somebody like Adele, and then you'll hear a song like Shawn Mendes, and then you turn around and hear
Sam Smith,
Post Malone, and Chris Brown, and you'll hear that. But on Black radio, oh, forget it. Either it's a Black station playing old school songs, or it's a Black station playing hip hop and auto-tune. That's it. That's it. There's no middle ground. There's no. I mean, they'll throw in some what they're calling like soul music. They're treating it like neo soul, like when you hear Her or Summer, and you know, but they're treating that like special music. Like it's they're not treating it like mainstream soul R&B at all. So when we talk about that whole thing of culture vulture and they're stealing, like, no, we're giving it away. You know, we're not using it, so they're taking it.
Do you think you know, a lot of the young like, you know, Black youths, do you think they even have an ear to even know what, you know, traditional rhythm blues even sounds like? Because
that's the scary thing. Like, you know, I still get sent so much different types of music all the time, and I can look on YouTube. I get links sent to me, and yo, the amount of talent of young folks that could sing is scary. They're nice, and I'm like, yo, I wouldn't even think they even care anymore because it's not even out there. But nah, man, they'll be doing like the Jasmine Sullivan riff test, and all of these young girls are doing the Jasmine Sullivan riff and singing. I'm like, so where are these? It's crazy. So there's mad talent out there that can do that and that's doing it. And I'm like, it'll happen. It'll happen.
I have an artist right now that I'm you know, I'm thinking about managing, and and it's the question that I asked to you, you know, I have for you, you know, what do you think I should do if I have an artist that wants to do traditional rhythm and blues, but he's also stuck between, he has the look, he's a handsome kid, he's 19 years old, but you know, he doesn't want to do the auto tune thing. He wants to do traditional rhythm and blues, but at the same time, you know, we in a social media era. So what he mentioned to me was he was thinking about, you know, just starting a beef with somebody, you know, because it seemed like, you know, it just seemed like his talent alone is just not. So what do you think is going to take for an artist, you know, such as this young man that I'm dealing with? And then there's plenty other, you know, artists that, you know, they want to sing. How do you think they're going to get noticed? What would you recommend as far as, you know, trying to get noticed?
I know exactly what I would recommend. I would recommend that find what's different in you and evoke that. And then what you want to do is don't try to make a smash record for everybody. Try to make a record for 100 to 500 people that will love you.
Right.
Find out where they are. Do the search, use analytics, and find out the people that's listening to that kind of music. You can go on YouTube and look at these soul singers and look at the people that's making comments and stuff like that. And then ask them to come look at your page and things like that. Get 500 people that just love you and build on that niche, because that's what a hit record is now. A hit record isn't a song that plays on the radio over and over. Nah, a hit record is that someone that loves your stuff, and all of a sudden they catch on to 10,000 people, and all of a sudden 100,000 people's on Spotify. It happens all the time. So those 200,000 people, they tune into this person. There's people that's making a living who you haven't heard of and you'll never hear of.
Right,
But
right.
those 200,000 people, forget it. They love them. They play them in their car. And that's what you're there for. You don't chase the radio no more. Don't chase the radio stations. Don't chase none of that shit. What you got to chase is find what you do. Make sure you're doing it dope. Try to be a little different with it. Try to be a little different with it. And be smart with it. And then find out who you think would like you. Who's similar to what you're doing. What kind of people listen to XYZ. And target them over and over. And ask them, what do you think about my music? Your opinion counts so much to me. And then they'll say it. Somebody loves it. If you do this, and then when you end up doing that, then they fall in love with you. That loyalty is what you want to bring. What you want to do. When you get that loyalty like that, you get like 10,000. Start with 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. You do that, that's the success you want. That you can make a living from just that.
Yeah, because I was thinking about letting him just do it, like, you know, when he proposed that idea to me, because he's seeing all these other guys that I know that he's way more talented, but it just seemed like these guys are getting the looks and he's not. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with him, because he's a handsome kid, he can sing, but I was just gonna let him do that thing, like starting this beef. That's why I'm asking you, because I don't know what to do at this point, because I just feel like
I would let him. Well, if he feels he's better than them and doper than them, then do it. Do their songs and kill it. You know, do all those covers and kill it. You know, the first thing you need to do is, as soon as one of these songs come out that's popular, you need to be right on it right away. Record it, film it, put it out there.
Nobody does that no more. I don't see people doing that. Like back in the day, artists used to cover songs. When something come out, Seals and Crofts, Summer Breeze. Next thing you know, Owsley Brothers got their version. No,
but they're still doing it, but they're on YouTube. That's where they're covering it. All these no-name limitations. There's people that have like 400,000 followers on YouTube, and all they do is cover songs. People tune in. They wouldn't even have they sing it. It's a different.
I've seen what you talk about it to an extent, but it's what I noticed. The only problem that I have when I see that, it seemed like, to me, I don't really see them put their own twist on it. Like, I don't like today. My main problem with rhythm and blues today is just the voices. I don't hear these signature voices like outside, even guys that I don't think are great singers. Like I'm gonna be honest, and no disrespect to Chris Brown, he's a phenomenal talent. I don't think he's one of the best singers, but to Chris Brown's, to what he does do well, he does have a signature sound.
Right.
But you have a lot of other singers that do that type of music, and if I do not know the song, I don't know the artists are interchangeable.
Right, but here's the thing. How old is this kid you're talking about?
The kid I'm talking about is 19.
He's not making it for you, bro. He ain't making it for me. He has to get that core niche following.
He don't want to do that. He wants to sing because he listens to music from like the 80s and the 90s. He don't want to be in a chain. He don't want people to. He want to stand out. He has a very distinct voice.
That's great.
And the problem that I have, and this is what I brought to him, and maybe you have your own thoughts about it. I feel like with the auto-tune, this is one of my problems with it. It makes a lot of these artists sound the same.
Yeah, it does.
It makes the artists sound the same. Like I like when I used to hear, I could tell Lisa from, Paula Abdul. I could tell Lisa from Janet Jackson. They don't, none of them sound the same. They all in the same lane, but they don't sound the same.
Yeah, but the deal is that at the end of the day, he's still 19. So the thing is that if he can still do it his way, but you still got to be smart. You still got to pay attention to the market and be like, okay, what's coming off? What's doing good? Okay, I don't like this song. How can I rock that same song my way?
Gotcha.
I'm a good looking dude. How can I bring it where people are like, yo, that happens all the time. That happens all the time. There are so many people that you're not realizing this makes a living from just being online. They have they have crazy followings, and you're not realizing that. And they're a star right there in their room. Right in
I
their
know.
room.
I've been online and seen some of these artists.
Yeah,
Got
man.
a lot of following. A lot of them, to me, again, I ain't hating or nothing, but to me, some of them are not even the best singers. But I'm looking at the numbers and they follow. I'm like, damn.
He needs to do that because he needs to do it that way, and he needs to get the consistency of constantly doing it. He don't have to do it someone else's way. He can do it his way.
Mm-hmm.
He can do it his way, but be good at it. Be smart. If you know these songs that's out here, and you feel like, this guy's whack, but it's a popular song and it just came out, he should be on it. Do it. Do it soulful. You don't have to do it with auto-tune. Do it soulful. And call it like soulful singing, and that be a thing. But attack it. Because without consistency, you will die in this game now.
Yeah.
You will die in this game. You start out.
It's a microwave society.
Yeah, man. Yeah, attention span is short. It's like a puppy. Yeah, man. Attention span is very, very short.
So look, brother, it's been an honor to have you on the platform to chop it up with you, man.
No doubt, man.
It's words cannot even explain, man. I just had Lisa. Maybe one day I can have all you guys, man.
Yeah,
and
that'd be cool.
That would be dope. So, when you look back, man, what are you most proud of? I like to ask artists, what are you most proud of as far as your career? I know it's a lot.
Yeah. What I'm most proud of? I don't know, but I gotta say there's a certain passion for UTFO being the absolute first.
Mm-hmm.
When there was no automation on the board, and all of us have our hands on this board. Everyone had a job to press this one off and press this one on, and we didn't have any money. We didn't care. All we wanted to do was just make music and hope people like it. So probably the whole Roxanne thing, and then coming after would be Lisa. But I think I don't know. The thing I loved most was actually touring. There's absolutely nothing on the planet that was better than that. Not the movies, not making records. Touring was like going to Coney Island every day.
Yeah.
And the thing you loved most about it it was all the other things. Being on the tour bus, sound check, all your friends that you grew up with is touring for months and months and months. It was just an incredible thing there. But I think I'm most proud of I don't know. I think it's our body of work and the consistency, and the things we're going to do still. I think we're going to shock a lot of people.
And you guys released the project, released the project, back in, I believe 2019. What was that like getting back together,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But some of the stuff we're doing coming up is going to be really, really something. Yeah.
With Love from Our Friends, that project.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
Was that all everybody?
Yeah. What was so special about that is that was basically on the heels of Paul, defeating cancer.
Yeah, talk about that. Yeah. I forgot about that, man.
Yeah, that was really like special because everybody came to be part of that project with that in mind. Especially when they saw Unsung. So yeah, that was special. That was really, really special. He's doing fine.
That's awesome, man. I was just about to ask about that, man. So look, like I said, the country about to open up. You guys plan on hitting that road, man. What you guys got coming out in the near future?
Well, we got a lot of multimedia things that we want to do. As far as film and webisodes, TV, things like that, and other projects and stuff like that. Okay. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a real interesting year. Really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah.
Well, look, brother, it's been a pleasure having you here on the platform, man. We got the one, the only B-Fon of Full Force. You guys, hey, you guys are looking at a legend right here, man. Do your Googles, do your Wikipedia, whatever you. Hey, it's been a pleasure having you on the platform, brother.
Same
You
here,
take
bro.
care, and you have a good night.